I have never played a Souls game before until now. I keep hearing about the one named Godrick the Grafted. I even faced off against his soldier, but 12 hours ago. As such, I have been preparing myself tirelessly to learn and become as strong as possible. And now it's finally time to enter Castle Stormveil. After 17 hours, 5 minutes, and 43 seconds in the lands between, this has been my experience. Where I last left off, being the Elden Ring warrior I am, I completed my quest at Castle Morn, where I laid waste to the Weird Boys and shackled Leonine Misbegotten to his death. As such, I am finally ready to approach what I have been told is the first real test of strength in the lands between. I prepared myself by farming some more mobs so I could finally increase my strength enough to dual wield my Bloodhound's Fang and Dismounter. However, even after optimizing my armor for medium load, simply dual wielding these behemoth blades made me thick with a few extra Cs. And as such, I had to go back down to just the Bloodhound's Fang for now. Also, a huge discovery of mine. I had noticed folks commenting on my previous step in Elden Ring that I was not using the Bloodhound's Fang correctly. Well, I finally figured it out. And yeah, I can imagine the frustration for the observer seeing me clearly not understand what I'm doing. Now that I am prepared, it is time to finally approach Castle Stormveil. Be aware of projectile weapon. I wonder what that's all about. Oh, hey, there's a dung beetle. Shit, it's that crazy fire missile thing again. I backed up and gathered myself with my newfound knowledge of danger, and I went to work with the guard boys, taking them down one by one. I made my way to the missile launcher and secured my position at the gate. I kind of wish you could use these missile launchers, actually. As I took my first steps into Castle Stormveil, I was greeted with a gracious sight. A sight of grass. I'm not really sure what to expect ahead, but a castle with a sight of grass at the beginning must spell trouble soon ahead. I rested and continued up the pathway, identified a summoning pool, and read a message telling me it was time for death. I stepped forward and observed the riling storm surrounding the castle towering above me. My next move will surely be one of terror.
In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Jesus Christ, dude, I was not expecting a boss instantly. Nonetheless, I went to battle, whiffing my first attack and getting absolutely blasted after. First impressions, this guy hits really hard and seems to have a weird delay on his attacks, like he holds them for an extra second or so. I got a few hits in to see that he can, in fact, be damaged. With one flask remaining, I continued my pursuit of attack, bringing Margit to 2/3 health. I dodged into his hammer slam and chunked him, this time down to 1/3. But alas, I had taken too much damage and my foolish ambitions were put to rest. Upon my awakening, I have gathered that firstly, this boss was unexpected, and secondly, he is very hard. I sidestepped his golden blades and performed a step attack, dealing some early damage. I'm still having a problem timing up my dodges though. Already down to 3 flasks, I timed up another step attack to chunk Margit once again. I continued though to fail my dodges to get dunked myself, but then rolled just at the right time to land a deep blow to Margit the Fell Omen. But I got too greedy and was struck down. Alright, my step attack needs to be my focus moving forward. When I land it successfully, it deals so much damage, but I also have to get better at dodging. His delayed attacks are really confusing, so it's been hard to figure out, but I have to if I'm going to defeat him. I kicked things off again with my step attack, but took some early and unnecessary blows. I avoided his golden blades and gave him a taste of my Bloodhound's Fang yet again. I tried taking tea time, but he said no, and hammer slammed me into the soil. And with a flurry of blows, he sent me packing once again. This guy's delayed attacks are really starting to piss me off. I'm really trying, but I am having a hell of a time with my dodges. Back at it. And smashed again. Jesus, dude. With 1 flask remaining, I tried to reset my engagement. I went after a step attack, but the follow-ups by Margit were foolish, and my ambitions were put to rest yet again. I am starting to feel a little discouraged as I went into this battle thinking I had actually figured out the combat in Elden Ring. It seems like I was wrong. I traversed again and dodged properly at first, but then took an ungodly amount of damage soon after. With 3 flasks left, I planned my next attack, only to get absolutely decimated. I backed off and tried timing up my step attack, but just as before, Margit followed up immediately and sent me back to whence I came. I need to make a change. Every time I step attack, he hits me with a flurry of blows right after. I need to better time up my attacks so I can avoid that this time. I dodged his slam, landed a step attack, and then got sent back. But I dodged again and got in some good strikes. But just like that, I have literally 2 health. I drank some flasks and landed a few more strikes. But does it matter? I still can't figure out when to dodge. With him at half health, I dodged several of his attacks and retaliated, getting down to a quarter health, and then... I know now what I must do. Patience. I started things off with a step attack and then backed away, avoiding the quick retaliation from Margit. I waited again and landed some strikes from behind. I timed up my step attack perfectly this time and chunked Margit. I got hammer slammed and no! Man, I really felt like I had it going there. Honestly, I think I did. I just made a crucial mistake there at the end. If I clean that up, I will surely defeat him. Once again, a step attack to kick things off and then got chunked. I avoided his next attacks and through a mix of chaotic maneuvers, I landed another step attack. With 1 flask remaining and still 2/3 health from Margit, this is going to be difficult. I was starting to feel the heat as I felt like I had a chance to win, but also had the same chance to lose. With my last remaining bit of health, I performed some crucial dodges and hit some critical attacks, and just like that, I landed the final blow for my second great enemy felled. Margit the Fell Omen, you are mine. You know what we have to do. Let's go! That boss was seriously so hard, and I am freaking excited that I got him down in really only a handful of attempts. But alas, Margit the Fell Omen has been felled, and my attention must now move forward, as we are still seeking the one they call Godrick the Grafted. Round table hold. After speaking to Melina, she allowed me to enter this unknown place. It looks like it is a really big site of grass, maybe? I spoke with this senior boy, and he assured me that it was, in fact, a safe space to be. That's good to know. I spoke to Dialos, and he told me about a woman named Lanya. I'll keep an eye out for her in the future. Then I met an old friend sitting at the table. It's D. The last time I saw him, he told me not to go after the Tibia Mariner, and we know how that went. D mentioned something about Gronk, the beast clergyman, and how they need to meet a reckoning. I chose to accept. I started exploring the surrounding area here at the Round Table Hold, and came across a woman sitting on a bed. I spoke to her. She greeted me as Fia, and offered to hold me? Okay. She said I would bear a Baldakin's blessing if so. I guess I'll let her, since it's a sacred act. That's nice. Just like that, Baldakin's blessing. She offered to hold me as often as I need. I'ma be honest, I feel like in certain states this might be considered something slightly against the law, but hey, here we are. I continued my exploration to find a white mist. I presented a stone sword key and entered. What I found inside was a chest. It granted me the Crepus's Black Key crossbow. Up to this point, I haven't had much use for bows, but I'll take it. I'm sure sometime soon I'll put it to good use. As I continued my exploration of Round Table Hold, I met this wheel boy and purchased an incantation called Urgent Heal. It sounds like I can use this to heal myself in battle, potentially? Not quite sure, but I'm glad to have it. I returned to Castle Stormveil to further pursue my next target. The gates are closed, so I went and talked to this old boy to see if he can help me. He told me that the main gate was not the way I actually wanted to enter the castle. I appreciate the help, my friend. Wait. You know what? Actually, I don't think I can trust him. He didn't like that. I told him I wanted to use the main gate. I don't think he's being exactly truthful about his secret entrance. I approached the main gate and it opened. I began moving forward and found some golden... Jesus Christ! Okay, maybe I need to just serpentine and I can make it up the hill. Shit! Hey, old boy, I totally trust you and think you're telling the truth about the main gate. I'm sorry I was so rude. I took the secret way into Castle Stormveil. On my way in, I met with several birds that needed my attention. As I look off into the distance, it looks like there is a very important place out there. Perhaps it's the location of Godrick the Grafted? I'm not sure, but I definitely think I will end up there sometime in the future. I worked my way up the side of the castle and finally entered. I made quick work of many enemies in my pathway and found myself at a doorway that opened. It was dark inside, and I see a mini boss inside? Gotta be really careful here. Yup, it's a mini boss. I tried a step attack, but before I could blink, he decimated me. What the fuck? Oh my god, are you kidding? It spawned me all the way back outside? Bro. Over the next couple of minutes, I made my way back inside and went straight after the Dark Knight boy. I landed a step attack and blasted him with a critical strike to get my revenge. A chest inside the room granted me with a curved sword talisman. I may make use of that at some point. I got a few tea bags in and continued my trek through Castle Stormveil. After some time, I made it to Rampart Tower, and now finally have a good look at the inner property of Castle Stormveil. I continued. These birds were a pain in my ass. I found myself taking on a grafted scion, like the one at the very beginning of my journey in the Lands Between, but unlike my first encounter, I made quick work and got revenge on that disgusting foul creature. I offered a stone sword key and entered a small room full of guard boys. After laying waste, I was rewarded with a hawk crest wooden shield and a Misericorde, an interesting dagger. So cool. Amidst my exploration, I met Rogier, who offered to teach me a new Ash of War, which I greatly appreciated, but for now, I will pass. I'm still trying to properly use my step attack, so, you know, one step at a time for me. I found myself looking out a doorway into a courtyard completely swathed in guard boys. Many of them holding positions are fire turrets of some kind. I whipped out both of my crossbows and went to work, taking down as many as I could before stepping out into the courtyard. I always try my best to approach engagements in a manner that is advantageous to myself, and in this moment, I don't know what else is out there, so I might as well be boring and cheese this doorway before expanding further. I finally ran out there and cleaned up the rest of the guard boys with ease, and along the way was met with an incredible amount of loot. Always a pleasure. A thick boy stood just ahead of me with a big old dog. I approached and completed the kill. With that, the whole of this courtyard is now mine, and I touched the next site of grass. I pursued further and found these little pot boys. They look like smaller versions of Iron Fist Alexander that I met not too long ago. So cute. I found a cracked pot too. That will be super useful for... Wait, are they running after... Whoa! Bro, I didn't even touch the pot boys. Why are they attacking me? After waiting out their anger, I went back to whence I came, but this time avoided the pot boys. Another site of grass lay before me in a small room. I approached and touched grass. And I did some business. It was time to increase my vigor to 24, bringing my health to a strong 769 HP. Following my upgrade, I stepped out to see a mist awaiting me. There's no way that's Godrick the Grafted, right? I feel like it has to be another smaller boss before Godrick. I don't really think I've even done enough in this castle yet. I chose to wait out my pursuit of that boss to find out what else I have yet to find in Castle Stormveil. I took a secret passage and found myself in an interesting area off the beaten path. I danced with this bat boy before sending them to the land of darkness. I channeled my inner Michael Scott and performed the greatest parkour in the lands between. As I continued down this pathway, things are really looking to be quite dark and dreary. I don't know what lies ahead, but I feel like it has to be something unsavory. I killed a few rats and found a dung beetle with a rancor call. Very interesting. I think I may have found a boss encounter. This area definitely looks like a battlefield. I jumped down and suddenly, out of the ground, whoa! All right, yeah, this looks like some kind of massive tree serpent boss thing. All I know is it's huge. It doesn't have a name though, so it can't be too hard, I'm assuming. Though I have had my troubles in the past with non-named bosses. I tried figuring out the tree serpent's movements and attacks while landing my own, and while I was able to bring them to half health, they brought me to 0 health. Okay, my initial impressions are that tree serpent is huge, and it was pretty hard to get close enough to perform my melee attack on them. Also, their tail is super long, which makes avoiding their attacks rather difficult. I need to find a way to get close enough for my attacks, but also avoid getting hit. Well, that's not a good start. I got absolutely freaking spawn camped over here and died yet again. I started thinking that maybe I needed some extra help with this fight, so I decided to use fire as a new additive to my arsenal. Before jumping down, I ate some exalted flesh and used some fire grease to light my bloodhound's fang. Time to get to work. I ran past him to gather my runes and then hit the tree serpent from behind. Then I got hit a few more times to completely chunk me and nearly deplete my flasks. I threw a fire pot, dodged a few times, and then got ripped from their yellow fire attack. I tried running away to reset my position and used drawstring fire grease for some more damage assistance. I also had one more fire pot, but damn, dead again. I'll spare you the pain of watching my struggles because for the next half an hour, I battled it out with the tree serpent, enduring failure after failure, until I approached the battle zone and used my last fire grease on my bloodhound's fang. It was time to stop playing around and do what I came here to do. I landed a step attack and kept my distance, biding my time to dodge attacks and land my own. So far, after getting the tree serpent to half health, I have yet to use a flask to increase my own. My timing has gotten so much better as I continued my pursuit of victory. I depleted my focus points after using my step attack numerous times, but I had a flask to replenish it back to whole. I drank a flask of Crimson Tears to maximize my HP, locked in, and dodged the tree serpent's attack. I landed another step attack, and just like that, I have him on the ropes. They slammed me down, but I got back up and with a vengeance struck for the final time. Tree serpent, you are mine. You know what we have to do. I got a golden seed. Not exactly the reward I was expecting, but I'll take it. Holy cow, man. That fight was honestly harder than I think it was for Margit the Fell Omen. And it wasn't even a named boss. Jesus, man. That took so much out of me. But I actually learned a lot from that fight. Up to this point, I haven't done much in regards to using different methods to increase my presence in a battle, like using fire pots or fire grease on my blades. Additionally, this may be the first time that I've used a flask to replenish my focus points in a battle, which was a very interesting change to my mindset while fighting. Man, that was no joke. But with every battle, I gain more and more strength for the war ahead. Following my encounter with the tree serpent, I wanted to do some housekeeping to prepare myself for what's to come ahead. I upgraded my Bloodhound's Fang to +2, giving me a base physical attack power of 181. I leveled up my vigor to 25 to give me 800 HP. Finally, I did some crafting to give me some more fire pots and fire grease, and with that, I returned to the secluded cell in Castle Stormveil as I nervously prepared for what lay beyond the mist.
Mighty dragon, thou'rt a true-born heir. Lend me thy strength, O kindred. Deliver me unto greater heights. Well, plain as a lord. I command thee now. I am the lord of all that is golden.
Yo, I did not expect Godrick the Grafted to be the next boss. What? If I'd have known that, I would have prepared even more. Nonetheless, I applied some fire grease and went to work with the Lord of Gold. I tried a step attack, but he hit me back just the same. And then I mistimed my dodge and shit. Well, that's just great. Okay, so I was absolutely not anticipating fighting Godrick so soon, especially immediately after I fought the tree serpent, but no matter, it's time. More fire grease applied and back to battle I went, failing my step attack yet again, but dodging right thereafter. But then he sent wind after me and killed me again.
Thou'rt unfit even to graft.
Bro said I wasn't fit even to graft. Yeah, okay, dude. Let's see about that. I skipped the fire grease and timed up my step attack better, except I didn't actually step attack and instead got chunked. I finally was able to get a couple of attacks in, and for the first time, I don't feel completely hopeless. And then I broke his poise. Landing the critical strike damaged him greatly, and I got him down to near quarter health.
Truest of dragons, lend me thy strength.
Bro, what the fuck? He just stole a dead dragon's head and then brought it back to life on his arm? Jeez, man. I healed up and ate some fireproof dried liver for fire damage mitigation and went back to work. I avoided his fire and approached closely to attack. I started missing my dodges and then got backed into a corner taking fire damage. I used my last flask and readjusted my position. Now applying more fire grease, this has to be my chance. I tried to outrun the flames, but I got bit. And then, when all hope seemed lost, one final step attack and it's done! My first demigod felled. Godrick the Grafted, you are mine. You know what we have to do. Let's go! Nearly 17 hours into my time in the lands between, and I have finally defeated Godrick the Grafted. And in only 3 attempts at that. Damn! My reward was Godrick's Great Rune and Remembrance of the Grafted. I touched grass in the place of Godrick's death and rested following my perilous adventure. Oh man, I got 20,000 runes for that kill as well. Hell yeah. I observed my newly found Great Rune. Their power can be restored at divine towers. Interesting. And the Remembrance of the Grafted can be used to gain a great bounty of runes. I wonder how many runes we're talking. I noticed the old boy from before that was back at the gate. He's stomping the ground ahead.
This weasel was... Godrick was always looking down on me. He got what he bloody deserved thanks to you.
You know, seems reasonable. I decided to use my newfound runes to level up my dexterity from 19 to 21. That should surely help me in my future battles. I continued through the castle and found a Shabriri grape, who a ghost would like me to take to their maiden. And as I exited Castle Stormveil and entered Liurnia of the Lakes, I realized that my journey in the lands between was only just getting started. Wow. Those last 5 hours of Elden Ring were absolutely incredible. All of my learning, preparation, and patience leading up to this point was so perfectly executed. Finally getting to enter Castle Stormveil and lay siege to Margit the Fell Omen and Godrick the Grafted, not to mention the Tree Serpent, was just absolutely phenomenal. I actually feel like I am only just scratching the surface of what's to come in Elden Ring, and that is just beyond exciting to me. I feel like I have a really strong hold on my understanding of this game now, and I'm ready to expand that understanding as I continue on in the lands between. I am itching to get back in and to continue my pursuit to becoming the Elden Ring warrior. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and if you are still watching at this point, you are incredible, and I sincerely appreciate your time. If you enjoyed, it would mean the world to me if you hit the like button so as to send this video to more folks in the land of YouTube. I am so excited to continue this series, and if you are ready for this new chapter in the journey of the Elden Ring warrior, then I encourage you to subscribe. But until then, if you're curious about how I got here to defeat Godrick the Grafted, then check out this video on screen now.